July 1st, 2002. A perfect summer night. The kind of night that makes you believe in happy endings. But up there, 36,000 feet above Germany, fate had other plans. Two planes, on drastically different missions, shared the same patch of sky. One, a Bashkirian Airlines Tupolev Tu-154, was filled with 69 souls, mostly Russian schoolchildren headed for a Spanish vacation. Their laughter, I imagine, echoed through the cabin, a stark contrast to the silent cargo hold of the other plane. A DHL Boeing 757 cargo jet, its belly full of parcels and packages, sliced through the same night sky. Just another routine delivery. Little did they know, they were hurtling towards each other, caught in a deadly ballet orchestrated by human error and technological failure. This, my friends, is the story of the Überlingen mid-air collision, a story of heroism, tragedy, and the unbearable weight of responsibility. It's a story that keeps me up at night, wondering about the randomness of it all, about the people on those planes, their hopes and dreams extinguished in a fiery instant. The stage for this tragedy was set hundreds of miles away in the dimly lit control room of SkyGuide Zurich's Air Traffic Control Center. Our protagonist in this nightmare? Not a pilot, but an air traffic controller named Peter Nielsen, a man soon to be crushed under the weight of an impossible situation. Imagine the scene, a cacophony of radio chatter, blinking screens, the constant pressure of keeping metal birds from colliding in the crowded sky. Now imagine that pressure multiplied tenfold. On that fateful night, Peter Nielsen was the only controller on duty, alone, responsible for a sector overflowing with planes. To make matters worse, the main air traffic control system was down for maintenance, and a key phone line was out of order. Nielsen was flying blind, relying on outdated equipment and sheer willpower. Every beep on his radar, every blip on his screen, represented hundreds of lives in his hands.
And then in the blink of an eye, those blips converged. Two planes on a collision course, invisible to my compromised system.
High above the ground, blissfully unaware of the unfolding disaster, the pilots of the Bashkirian Airlines flight and the DHL cargo jet continued on their assigned flight paths. Suddenly, a heart-stopping alarm shrieked through both cockpits. The Traffic Collision Avoidance System, or TCS, had detected the impending disaster and issued conflicting instructions.
TCS says to descend. We must descend.
The Russian crew, following TCS instructions, began to descend. At the same time, down in the Zurich Control Center, Peter Nielsen finally saw the two planes, their flight paths intersecting with terrifying clarity.
Descend further, descend further.
He immediately contacted the Russian plane, instructing them to descend further, mistakenly believing he was speaking to the DHL flight, which was actually on a higher altitude. A fatal miscommunication, a split-second decision made in the heat of the moment, with incomplete information. The pilots, now receiving conflicting instructions from TCS and air traffic control, fought desperately to avert disaster. But it was too late. At 11:35 p.m., with a deafening roar that ripped through the night, the two planes collided. The tail section of the DHL cargo jet sliced through the fuselage of the passenger plane, instantly killing everyone on board both aircraft. 71 lives, including 52 innocent children, vanished in a horrifying ball of fire. The wreckage rained down on the unsuspecting town of Überlingen, Germany, scattering debris and dreams across a wide swath of forest. The world watched in horror as news of the tragedy spread. How could this happen? Who was to blame? In the wake of the disaster, the world searched for answers. The investigation pointed squarely at Peter Nielsen, the air traffic controller on duty that night. He became the scapegoat, the embodiment of human error. The media vilified him, painting him as a villain. But he was a man drowning in grief, haunted by the ghosts of those lost souls. He carried the weight of their deaths on his shoulders, a burden no one should have to bear. And then, the unthinkable happened.
2 years after the collision, I tracked down Peter Nielsen at his home in Switzerland. I had lost my wife and children in the crash. Driven by grief and rage, I took his life, adding another layer of tragedy to an already unbearable story.
The murder sent shockwaves through the aviation world, highlighting the devastating ripple effects of such tragedies. The Überlingen mid-air collision left an indelible mark on the aviation industry. It forced a long, hard look at air traffic control procedures, safety protocols, and the limitations of technology. It sparked debates about controller workload, backup systems, and the need for clear communication in high-pressure situations. The tragedy also led to significant changes in the way TCAS systems operate, with modifications designed to prevent conflicting instructions in the event of a potential collision. The ghosts of Überlingen, it seemed, demanded accountability and action, but the scars run deeper than regulations and technology. They linger in the memories of those who lost loved ones, in the nightmares of those who survived, and in the hushed whispers of pilots and controllers who know that even in the age of advanced technology, human error can still have devastating consequences. The Überlingen disaster wasn't just about one man's mistake. It exposed systemic flaws in the air traffic control system, vulnerabilities that had been lurking beneath the surface for years. The investigation revealed a perfect storm of failures, understaffing, equipment malfunctions, inadequate backup systems, and communication breakdowns. The Swiss Air Traffic Control Agency, SkyGuide, bore the brunt of the blame. The subsequent trial exposed a culture of complacency, a lack of investment in training and technology, and a dangerous reliance on outdated procedures. It became painfully clear that the system designed to keep the skies safe was itself riddled with cracks.
The Überlingen tragedy became a wake-up call, a stark reminder that even the most sophisticated systems are only as strong as their weakest link.
Section 8. When technology fails. The limitations of TCS. TCS, the very system designed to prevent mid-air collisions, played a tragic role in the Überlingen disaster. While it successfully detected the impending collision and issued alerts, its conflicting instructions, coupled with the air traffic controller's erroneous commands, created a perfect storm of confusion in the cockpits. The pilots, faced with conflicting orders from TCS and air traffic control, had to make split-second decisions with incomplete information. In the end, even the most advanced technology couldn't compensate for human error and systemic failures. The Überlingen tragedy underlined the limitations of technology, reminding us that even the most sophisticated systems are not foolproof. It highlighted the need for clear communication protocols, robust backup systems, and ongoing training to ensure that pilots and controllers can effectively respond to critical situations. Section 9. The human cost of error, remembering the victims. Beyond the technical failures and the blame game, the Überlingen collision was, at its core, a human tragedy. 71 lives, each one filled with hopes, dreams, and loved ones left behind, were extinguished in an instant. Among the victims were 52 children from the city of Ufa in Russia, on their way to a long-awaited vacation in Spain. Their laughter, their youthful exuberance, their potential, all wiped away in a fiery collision. The families of the victims, forever scarred by the loss, continue to mourn their loved ones, their grief a constant reminder of the human cost of this disaster. Their stories, their faces, their dreams must never be forgotten. They serve as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of learning from our mistakes to prevent such tragedies from happening again. Section 10. A plea for change preventing future tragedies. The Überlingen mid-air collision stands as a stark reminder of the importance of air safety, of the need for constant vigilance, and of the shared responsibility we all have to prevent such tragedies from happening again. It is a call to action for the aviation industry to prioritize safety above all else, to invest in robust training programs, to embrace technological advancements, and to foster a culture of open communication and accountability. It is a plea to remember the victims, to honor their memory by striving for a future where the skies are truly safe for everyone. Let their loss be a catalyst for positive change, a reminder that complacency has no place in the world of aviation. The legacy of Überlingen must be one of learning, of improvement, of unwavering dedication to making the skies safer for generations to come. Section 11. Flying onward. The enduring impact of Überlingen. The skies above Überlingen are quiet now, but the echoes of that tragic night still reverberate throughout the aviation world. The story of the collision, the air traffic control failures, the loss of innocent lives, and the subsequent murder of Peter Nielsen serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of human systems and the devastating consequences of error. But amidst the tragedy, there is hope. The legacy of Uberlingen lives on in the changes implemented, the lessons learned, and the unwavering commitment to air safety that emerged from the ashes of disaster. The skies are safer today because of the sacrifices made, the lives lost, and the lessons learned. And as we fly onward, let us remember those who perished at Uberlingen, their memory a beacon guiding us towards a future where the skies are truly safe for everyone.